All right, let's delve into the story. So I'm on ChannelOneNews.com. LGBTQ plus, not part of our culture. I'll never accept it, according to Bawumia. Record number of Ghanaians and Nigerians deported from
That's on
UK.
Channel One News.
Yes, Channel One News. Record number of Ghanaians and Nigerians deported from UK in single flights. 2024 BECE results released. Entire results of 41 candidates cancelled. Ooh.
Wow.
My internet has
That
run
doesn't
away
make
from
for
me.
pleasant reading at all.
At
Let me
all.
just do the city newsroom briefly whilst you sort
Okay,
it out.
I've got it. Let me
All right,
continue. NDC only enjoy 24-hour majority, that's according to Bawumia, will boldly confront free senior high school challenges, that's according to NAPO. Bagbin didn't overstep his authority, private legal practitioner. Bawumia to launch credit score system November 7. KT Hammond, Bagbin will abide by Supreme Court ruling. Saglemi Housing, government selects Kwam LMI to complete project, and I think you read that yesterday. Supreme Court's hasty ruling questionable, that's according to Justice Abdullahi. What stories do you have?
So on the citynewsroom.com, election 2024, we will resist LGBTQ at any cost, and that's coming from the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Also here will occupy majority side of Parliament on Tuesday. Sam George, Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram with that one. Private legal practitioner Kwame Ekufu criticized the Supreme Court over vacant seat ruling. Also here, I'm the one Ghana needs, and Alan Kojo Tremantin, former Minister for Trade, U.S. Ambassador, Ghana Ambassador to the U.S. with that one. He's referring to his chances in the elections happening in December. Also here, NPP set for a decisive majority in Parliament, and Bawumia is the one with that quote. Atta Kennedy says that no political party in Ghana is willing to fight Galamsey. In a way, I agree with him. Yeah. Law lecturer, private legal practitioner Bobby Banson is saying that Bagbin did no wrong. Parliament has the right to interpret the Constitution. And also here, Galamsey, you can't break UTAX front, Prof. Jampo tells government. A Blackwest $38.2 million visa allegation, grossly misleading. Foreign Affairs Ministry coming in with that one. And some other news here, rather tragic story. 8-year-old boy accidentally shoots brother at Chifo Ashure in the Ashanti region. So sad. Supreme Court ruling an interference with parliamentary work. That's also coming in from Mahama Ayarega, who's really stayed consistent on this course all through 2020 up until now. You know, when it happened when a similar incident happened with the former MP when he decided to go independent, and the MPP as a political party decided not to do business with him again. You know, Mahama Ayarega stayed through to this comment is really going on right now about the need for Parliament to not go on that tangent. According to him, it wasn't the right thing to do, right? And 4 years later, he's been vindicated so much. And now the tides have sort of changed. It's interesting.
Go ahead.
VRA NEDCO staff demand total withdrawal of energy sector bill. And these are some of the big stories on the citynewsroom.com.
Graphic.com.gh stories you'll find on that website. Red Plus Communities rejects Arocha's call for Ghana to be removed as Forest and Climate Leaders Partnership co-chair. Kwauhine has not been distilled, and that's a statement from them. WIAC releases 2024 BEC results, 149 school results on hold for malpractices. Police drops charges against independent parliamentary candidates. Postino 2 medicine with pink flower label is not approved. That's according to the FDA. Postino 2 medicine with pink flower label is not approved. That's according to the FDA. Rollout of NWASH project. 3 thirsty Upper East communities get potable water after many years of struggle. Don't be victims of political manipulation. NCCE advises youth. 450 graduates from Odar Community Health Training College commit more resources towards community health needs. So, those are some of the stories that you'll find on Graphic Online.
And let me just do the GNA.com, Ghana News Agency. Then we could probably just delve into some of the stories. Race for Commonwealth Secretary General intensifies, and Shelley Ayokoboche is set to make history. That's an interesting feature on the Ghana News Agency online portal. Also here, 2024 election, let's eradicate violence from our politics, and that's coming in from the NCCE. It comes with a photograph of their chairperson, Kathleen Addy. Also here, NDC caucus to initiate moves to take over leadership of Parliament on Tuesday, October 2022. President inaugurates Ghana's biggest urology and nephrology center at Kolebu. Some really, really amazing news coming in there. Ibn Chambers appeals to Ghanaians to ensure violence-free elections. Also here, Obuasi Senior High and Technical School wins 2024 STEM Innovation Competition. That particular event was live on ChannelOne TV on Friday. The ballot box is the only way NDC can regain political power. You know, it's interesting because when I read the ballot box, my mind just went straight to Chris Esima's show on City FM every weekday at 10 p.m.
Like,
to 12 midnight.
Yeah,
I know, right? But this is a Sirun Kitty, and he's saying that the ballot box is the only way NDC can regain political power. The Postino 2 story read this year. You know, it's important. We should bring it to viewers because
we should. We'll review that.
Yeah. MPP Parliamentary caucus to boycott Parliament over Speaker's ruling. Okay, so that was a rather old story. So these are some of the big news stories on the Ghana News Agency.com.
Okay, should we delve in?
Yes, we can.
So on ChannelOneNews.com, and the one is the digit one. The flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party is saying that LGBTQ plus is not part of our culture. He's reiterated his firm opposition to the introduction of LGBTQ plus practices into Ghanaian society. Speaking during a gathering with the clergy, traditional leaders and other stakeholders in Enyinem as part of his Eastern Regional Tour, Dr. Bawumia emphasized that LGBTQ plus is fundamentally at odds with Ghana's religious beliefs, traditions, and cultural values. He pointed out that the practice has no connection to either the Bible or the Quran, nor does it align with the moral and cultural framework of the country. His comments come after Abena Oseasare, the Member of Parliament for Atua East, commissioned a newly constructed constituency office. Addressing the crowd, Dr. Bawumia assured Ghanaians not that under his leadership, the NPP would stand resolutely against the introduction of LGBTQ plus practices, regardless of external pressure or potential consequences. And on the issue of Galamsey, Dr. Bawumia, responding to calls from the traditional leaders on streamlining their activities to mitigate the pollution of water bodies and destruction of forest reserves, said a licensing regime for mining will be granted locally, with chiefs being key partners in the issuance of the mining license. First, touching on the LGBTQ, where is that bill at now in Parliament? I mean, after the walk, I don't think anything really has come of it, or we've heard anything about it. And people are trying to compare that the LGBTQ bill was there before, you know, Friday's, should I call it debacle fiasco?
Yeah. I mean, if you ask where is it in Parliament, the MPs will tell you that they are done with their job, and
it's left with the president to assent it.
It's left with the president to assent it, and the president would also tell you that he can't go ahead to assent it because it's at the Supreme Court with two different cases. Mind you, Dr. Amanda Odoe raised some issues really about the legal aspects of the case. According to her, she says that it's going to have an impact on the country's purse, right? And I mean, private members' motions are not allowed to do that. Richard Sky also makes similar and other claims as well. So it's at the Supreme Court being heard. Their concern, however, is at the slow pace with which the Supreme Court, right, is hearing or is treating the case.
Do you think any president will assent to that bill in its current state now?
We are going to an election where two of the leading candidates, one of them would anyway end up with power, have come out to vehemently state their position on it, right? and they try to cut a lot of religious support in the process. So it's very likely that whoever comes will be reminded of their words on the campaign trail. And I'm not too surprised with this coming in from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia on the campaign, because, in recent days, we've seen Sam George vehemently also come out saying that he feels strongly that the reason why this has not been pushed up onto the presidency for the president to assent to the bill is the fact that he feels the executive arm of government is dilly-dallying with this, right? And it's an issue that strikes a lot of emotive responses, right, from Ghanaians, and with considering the kind of conservative populace we have, to an extent, it could also be a reason why people want to go and vote and all of that. So it'll be interesting how this plays out in the coming days. But honestly, I'm not too surprised that the vice president is speaking on it, because his opposition have made it in a way a campaign tool, right, where they also go out talking about the fact that they feel like this government is not doing enough to really come out boldly against something a lot of Ghanaians feel very strongly about. Mind you, the last time a poll was done on it, about 90% of Ghanaians were against LGBT activity. So there's, to an extent, a groundswell of public support for the bill, right? Because 90%, and this is an Afro-Barometer report, so yeah,
sometimes, right, you and I are well-traveled, I can say, or we have traveled before.
I'm not
well-traveled.
Yesterday
you said you went to the southern...
but I went to North America doesn't mean I'm well-traveled.
Okay, so you have traveled.
I want to go to.
You have traveled. Let me speak.
Because I'm not well-traveled.
All I'm saying is that you've traveled outside the country before, and you see the culture there is different, and it's like right in your face. People don't, even on our African continent, if you go to South Africa, it's common to see, persons who are LGBTQ, they're comfortably walking around.
But
all we're saying is that
the pushback to that.
We don't want to see it in our country. It's weird.
The pushback.
When I see it, when I travel, I'm a bit.
The pushback actually is that even in the US, where in some states it's legal same-sex marriage, LGBT activity, in other states it's not, right? The promotion of it is not as done openly. So, for example, if you take what they call the Bible belts, right? So, Florida, along those lines, there are some restrictions there. They're also quick to remind us of countries like China, where, there's a lot of dissent for activities of the sort. So it'll be interesting how this plays out, and so like I said, we have a very conservative
I like how they've all
populace.
made their stance. I'm just hoping that when the time comes for them to assent, they will do that.
And Sam George was at a full demonstration, Charlie. My point is that you don't need to politicize this, right? Let's just allow the laws of the country. If there's enough public support for it, I'm sure at the end of the day, it will thrive. After all, it's a democracy, right? But in doing so, it's also important that we mention that the rights of people who have different opinions on this issue are not violated.
Of course
because
not.
in the past, we've also seen that the way we go about the commentary of this gives some people, the audacity to go about doing certain things that are not proper or are not in line with our constitution, violating the rights of other people and all of that. We need to call out that as well. If you disagree with someone's opinion or someone's belief or practices, if it's different from what you've known or believe, it doesn't give you the right to go ahead and violate their rights and assault them in some instances. So that also has to be made. It's interesting because you're talking about Sam George. He's also here on the citynewsroom.com saying that I don't even know which is which now, whether they are the minority or whether they are the majority in parliament, right? Because you have three arms of government, the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature, which is basically our parliament. So they make laws. The executive will implement these their policies, and of course the judiciary is the one that decides when issues go to the courts. Now with the judiciary, they've come out with one ruling. The speaker, as head of the legislature, too, has come out with a ruling, right? And you get people say, so now where does this leave us? People have opined that it's very likely the Speaker of Parliament would disregard the ruling from the Supreme Court. But does the Constitution allow him to do that? You get people in other breath say that Parliament are the masters of their own law, right? Even though it's subservient to the overall Constitution we all adhere to. So it's uncharted territory that we are going to see in the coming days. And I hope that it's a test for our democracy too as well. And I hope that these key institutions that are the bedrock of our democracy should be able to navigate this in a way that doesn't affect the overall governance structure or architecture of our country. Because, you know, if this is not done properly, the loopholes could be so badly exploited. And I fear for the future of the country. So the minority, the prior minority, to all of this, or let me say the NDC side. The NDC side of Parliament say they are going to do, yes, so they're going to occupy. And later today, they are going to hold a press briefing. Right. And in the post announcing their press conference, they declare themselves majority side. Right, and we have the flag bearer of the NPP also on the campaign trail, teasing them that they did a 24-hour majority. Right, so like the nuances are so many, and you don't really know. But the point is that I've heard some senior members of Parliament on the NPP side even say that, see, this is a precedent we set in 2020. Right, so they have no qualms. That's lawyer and their peer could be, right, and a senior NPP MP lawyer. Right, saying that I've also heard some other moderate NPP MPs. You know, I called one for an interview, and I was shocked his position on it, even though he didn't want to go public. So it's interesting how this play out in the coming days. But in all of the politicking, I just hope that we are mindful that we need to protect our democracy, right, and ensure that it's done in a way that doesn't give rise for any negatives that we've seen in the past, right? So that's Samuel George. Except from the story reads, the Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Pram, Samuel Nati George, has reaffirmed the Minorities Caucus commitment to occupy the majority position in Parliament on Tuesday, October 2022. Despite the Supreme Court ruling that stayed the execution of the Speaker's declaration, which had rendered 4 seats vacant. Speaking during the National Democratic Congress victory walk in the North Tongue constituency, Sam George criticized the judiciary, accusing it of politicization. He argued that the recent decisions by the courts, including the ruling on vacant seats, reflect a growing influence of political interests within the judiciary, undermining its independence. And that's the story essentially from Samuel George. I've heard Alassane Suini also say that the Supreme Court should not conduct itself in a way that would be seen as an extension of the executive, right? So there's been a lot of criticisms of the judiciary, but I hope that it's constructive, it's fair, and it's done in a responsible manner, because we've said that when the last straw that holds a country together or a democracy together is really the court, right? So when you run it down like that, you're just creating a society that will be full of anarchy, and we can't thrive in a system or in a society like that.
Yeah. Let's bring some other stories. 2024 BECE results released. Entire results of 41 candidates cancelled. A bit of the story. WAEC has released provisional results of candidates who sat for the 2024 BECE for both private candidates. Public school and private candidates. Following the completion of investigations into several cases of irregularity detected during the conduct of the examination and marking of scripts, WAEC has cancelled the subject results of 377 school candidates and 3 private candidates for the offence of bringing foreign materials into the examination hall or colluding with other candidates. Again, the entire results of 41 school candidates and 1 private candidate have been cancelled. The entire results of 33 school candidates and 3 private candidates have been withheld. Meanwhile, some subject results of candidates from 149 schools have been withheld for reported irregularities. The withheld results may be cancelled or released based on the outcome of investigations. This was contained in a press release signed and issued by John Kapi, the head of public affairs at WAEC, on Saturday night, October 19, 2024. This beats my imagination, because then I'm thinking, really, is the Free Senior High School helping? Because why are candidates, tempted to copy?
The Free Senior High School is big, it's helping. It's increased.
Wait, this is BECE.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so they will go into
Free Senior High School. But is that they're not being the curriculum, they don't have enough time to teach them the curriculum, or they're not being serious, or they have the impression that whether I pass or not, or whatever grade I get, I can still get into a senior high school.
You still get into a senior high school, but not a senior high school of your choice. So you want to better your grades so well that it puts you in good standing for a senior high school of your choice.
But it doesn't look like these pupils are concerned.
It's interesting. No two ways about it. Free SHS is amazing. It's great. It's increased enrollment. People who have gone to school, who prior to free SHS might not have gone to school.
Or had no plan to continue their education.
Yeah, there are concerns about how it's been implemented. This whole double track, people have disagreed with the process through which it was implemented. People also raise concerns about attrition rate and all of that in certain remote parts of the country. But it's for me, I think that we need to look at the positives, right? And how we can build on it. And that is why the NDC will tell you that disregard concerns about the MPP saying that we are going to cancel free. The stakes are too high. They won't. They can't even use the word review because it will be interpreted very differently.
Very differently, yeah.
So, yeah. But in that sense, it's just interesting why I could want to release results on a Saturday evening, right, Charlie? I'm so sure there's a family right now who are going to church, and I've asked some Kojo to bring the results for some. Oh, God.
You're saying they should have waited for Monday?
Yeah, wait for Monday and let things cool down. Actually, Saturday,
Monday. Whether you like it or not.
have to go to church. And what is he going to say?
Oh, let's hope Kojo passed, because if he didn't, his parents will be right. Or he's not one of those whose results have been cancelled or withheld.
Yeah, because Charlie, I'll put him in voice. So, do it like Monday. Now at least. Now watching the tremor when a week passes, it's
by Sunday the parents would have forgiven him.
At least like society, the way when the results come, Charlie, some auntie who never was minded to even buy you a textbook or some shoe or anything is calling you, asking you, hey, now Unya saying. And some church member too is the auntie Martha, who is on some other site, is asking you, Charlie, how society is sometimes. So yeah, I mean, hat outs to all of those who've written and, for some reason, it didn't go and I have to deal with the societal pressure. It can be so way. I passed my BECE, so I didn't have to go through that. But I know people who, it's sometimes it can even have a psychological trauma on you.
Yeah, when you see all your friends
going to, especially when you're going to a particular school.
But the good thing now is you can reset.
For
it. You may be a bit late. Delay.
But congratulations to the over 500,000 who sat for the BECE. It's a major step in pursuit for
academic excellence.
Yeah, and we are hoping for a lot more of these numbers, because we've said and we believe so strongly that an educated populace, right, is one that can change very significantly a lot of the problems we face in this country. We talk about how a lot of our problems in this country is a mindset problem. So yeah, we need a lot more people coming out, going through school, going into secondary education especially, and I'm sure it'll be better for us as a people.
Right. So we definitely have more stories for you when you visit any of these websites that we've mentioned: ChannelOneNews.com, CityNewsroom.com. Graphic has the Postina story, so you can go read about that and figure out which label they say is not approved by the FDA. But don't go anywhere. Sunday Breakfast will be right back after this.